This is Mr. Mega Man fan. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. You know all the things to do. And I got some new games in the mail this week. Let's go ahead and open these packages. This one is from Premium Edition Games. Now, I have worked with Premium on some things in the past, but this is not a sponsored video. They did not send me these gratis. I paid for them myself. You shouldn't get everything from your friends when you know people at the company. You should buy stuff from them every now and then. So I bought Love 3 and They Bleed Pixels. And I'm going to review one of these games in this video. We'll get to that in a little bit. Now, I previously bought the Pigeon Dev Collection, and it came in just a plain box, but they've clearly upgraded it since then because both of these have slipcovers around the physical contents inside. So I was pleasantly surprised by that. And I didn't even order their deluxe, whatever top end collections were. These were just the bottom tier of the versions of the games they sell. I also have this order from Video Games Plus with Cosmic Fantasy Collection 1 and Soul Hackers 2. Now, I did this in reverse order. I got Cosmic Fantasy Collection 2 from a friend in a Facebook group, and then I decided, well, since I have Volume 2, I might as well have Volume 1, which ironically includes the one game I did own before that, which is Cosmic Fantasy 2 on the TurboGrafx/Turbo Duo. But now back to Love 3. I am just super stoked at how good this presentation looks with the shiny gold box, slipcover on the outside, and I want to get to the game on the inside. Let's take this shrink wrap off and get a better look at the contents. Insert sexy unwrapping noises here like Tecmone always has in his videos. Big shout out to Tecmone. I'm glad he's feeling better lately, and I always enjoy his vintage tech videos where he tries and sometimes fails to repair, but mostly successfully gets vintage technology like reel-to-reel and tape deck and CD players and boomboxes working. All that stuff is always fun, and his product reviews are good too. Speaking of product reviews, I really like this Sega Master System. It's, what do you call it, slipcase? Yeah, slipcase that they put this game into. I love that grid pattern. People used to mock it back when the Sega Master System was on the market, but now we're all finally nostalgic for it. I love seeing it on products in the modern day, so kudos to Premium Edition for that design choice. And if I were to guess, it was probably my friend Tristan who made those choices because he does a lot of their artwork and manuals and layouts of various things. So I'll ask him if he did the design, but I strongly suspect it was him. He's the one who told me there was a challenge card inside of the game because I told him, dude, there's something rattling around inside my box from Premium Edition. And he's like, that's the challenge card. You complete the challenge, you get a patch. Just like the old days when you would send Activision your high scores. And that's exactly what I told him. I'm like, dude, of course I'm going to do this challenge. I want that patch. So I'll get to that eventually. But for now, we're looking at the manual inside, which, again, I suspect he did the layout for. And it looks great. I love the fact that it's even inverted on the backside of the manual. That's just a cute touch. I mean, pretty much everything about this is either cute or charming or hits me in the retro nostalgia feels. So packaging alone is getting a 10 out of 10. Now, as for the game itself, I already had some experience with a trial code of the game. I believe it was on Steam Deck, not on Switch, but I have played this a little before, so if I seem familiar with it when you're watching the video, that's because I have spent some time with it and already knew I liked it. But that's also the reason I wanted a physical edition of it, because I thought if I already liked it digitally, I'm going to like it even more physically. I can own it, keep it forever, put it on the shelf, take it out, play it whenever I want to, and it's a pretty addictive game. Plus, it includes remastered versions of the two previous Love video games, which sadly, before Love 3, I was not even familiar with them, but if they're anything like Love 3, then I'm definitely into it. And from playing Love 3 the time that I have, well, if you like platforming games, this is one for you. It's pretty straightforward. You're not gunning for anything, you're not shooting enemies, you're not having to do special wall kick jumps like a Kaizo level. It's just you versus the layout. And one of the nice things about Love 3, which I would also assume applies to Love 1 and 2 in this collection, is you can set a save point literally anywhere you want. If you die, it's on you. But you get a save point when you enter a new level. Other than that, where you set the save point is your choice. If you complete a difficult platforming challenge and think, I want to make sure I don't lose my progress, then go ahead and put down a little ghost image of yourself where you're standing, like I did right there. And then if you screw up, you'll go back to that point. But you'll see when I cross into the next screen, it generates one right at the entrance. So that's your new save point that you'll go back to. Makes sense, right? And the stage layouts are something you would recognize from playing Mario games, Mega Man games. What else would qualify? Bonk's Revenge, Bonk's Adventure. It's a little bit Super Meat Boy-esque in some respects because you die and respawn and die and respawn and keep playing, but the platforming is definitely more traditional, although much more pixelated in a charming way. I know I used that word before and I apologize for using it again, but charming, because he's almost a stick figure, right? He, she, they, whatever the gender is, doesn't matter. But it's got a like, if Atari was modern and retro, obviously it wouldn't be this fluidly animated, but at the same time, it looks like something that could have appeared on a Commodore 64 or an Atari 8-bit computer. I bet you could do a pretty good version of Love 3 if you put the time and effort into porting it to one of those systems. I think it would look at home. I just realized what this game does remind me of the most. Jumpman Jr., one of my all-time favorite Commodore 64 games. And it doesn't have the timed bullets going across the screen that'll take you out. And it doesn't have the rings to collect. But in the graphical style department, the way the figure moves and the preciseness of the platforming you do, and the fact that you'll respawn where you died and continue from there, there's very familiar elements to this that I think go in that category. And it is challenging. You also set the level of the challenge in the opening screen, where you can play with infinite lives, or you can play arcade style with a limited amount of lives and challenge yourself to see how far you can get. But there are some tricky sections here, like, I guess actually this is Jumpman Jr.-esque with bullets going across the screen, except it's a continuous stream of them, not one that moves horizontally or vertically towards you when you cross its path. So there is that. And the other nice thing is when you collect an item, like sometimes you need to get an item to open a door or clear a section. Even if you die, you retain that item. You don't lose it when you go back to the save point. You don't have to collect it again. If the save point is before the item, but you collected the item, you still have the item that unlocked the door or the gate or whatever it may be. So it does reward your effort. And that is one of the things that really appeals to me about games like this, is when they reward your effort. Even if it's hard, even if it's frustrating, even if you die, You get that sense of satisfaction when you did it right and you progress to the next area. What I call the dopamine rush of a good platforming or challenge game. It's the same if you've played 1001 Spikes, any of the different versions of that. It's hard, but it's rewarding because when you get past all the spike traps and moving blocks and collect the skull and collect the key and move to the next room, and sometimes you even get a new high score for a better time than one previously if you're redoing a level or doing it again for a challenge. Whatever it may be, you get that reward when you hear that music from clearing a difficult stage, the satisfaction from knowing you timed everything right and figured it all out. It's just a great feeling. That's what we play video games for, right? Is the emotions, whether it's the good emotions from the satisfaction of doing something right, or sometimes the powerful and sad emotions that a game can make you feel. A game like Death Stranding or Life is Strange or Metal Gear Solid, where you get invested in the story. Sometimes there's a happy ending, and sometimes the ending is not so happy, and sometimes it's kind of a mix of both, but you go along for the ride. And great video games make you feel something, whether it's the satisfaction from doing something hard like I just did here, or the satisfaction of getting to see how the story turned out, or sometimes changing the story because you have agency in a video game. It's a movie, but you control the plot to some degree, and you can change the outcome and get a different ending. And some games have multiple endings to support that idea that you get to change the narrative and you decide how the story goes. And some games just fool you with choices and make you think you're controlling the narrative, but in reality, the outcomes are all leading you to one fixed end. Like, you might change a little bit of the story in progress, but there's only one ending at the end, and sometimes just a little bit of a bonus scene after the end to acknowledge that you did something different, which is all fine. Those are all different design choices, and they work for some games and they don't work for others, and that's what video game reviews are all about. You choose the ones that you like the best and score them based on your personal preferences, and maybe people agree and maybe people don't. But I hope you watch this video and maybe you'll agree that Love 3 looks like a fun game, because I had a blast playing it and I'm very happy that I paid for it. Mr. Mega Man fan out.